What if I told you that one of the healthiest meals your Chihuahua could eat isn't hiding in an expensive bag of dog food? It's probably already sitting in your kitchen. And no, I'm not talking about feeding them leftovers from your dinner. Today, I'm sharing simple homemade recipes that Chihuahuas absolutely love. And one ingredient near the end surprises almost every owner. If you own a Chihuahua, you already know how incredibly picky they can be. One day, they act like they're starving. The next day, they stare at their food as if you've personally offended them. The good news? You don't need to become a professional chef to make meals or treats that are healthy, delicious, and perfectly sized for the world's tiniest dog. These recipes are easy, budget-friendly, and packed with ingredients that many veterinarians recommend as part of a balanced diet. Just remember that homemade recipes should usually be treats or meal toppers unless you've worked with your veterinarian or a veterinary nutritionist to create a complete balanced diet. Let's get cooking. The 5-minute chicken power bowl. If your Chihuahua could vote for dinner, this recipe would probably win. Here's what you'll need. Plain cooked chicken breast, cooked white rice or brown rice, steamed carrots, steamed green beans, a tiny spoonful of pumpkin puree. Everything should be plain. No salt, garlic, onions, butter, or seasoning. Shred the chicken into tiny bite-sized pieces. Mix in the vegetables and rice. Finally, add a small spoonful of plain pumpkin puree. Pumpkin isn't just tasty, it's also rich in fiber, which can help support healthy digestion. The result is a soft, flavorful meal that's easy for tiny mouths to chew. And here's something many Chihuahua owners notice. Even dogs that usually leave food in the bowl often finish every bite. But don't grab your next ingredient just yet, because the next recipe isn't a meal at all. It's something perfect for hot summer days. Frozen yogurt bites. Tiny dogs get warm surprisingly fast. That's why these frozen treats become an instant favorite during warmer months. You'll need plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, blueberries, strawberries, a few slices of banana. Blend everything together. Pour the mixture into small silicone molds or ice cube trays. Freeze for several hours. That's it. These tiny frozen snacks provide protein from the yogurt, while the fruit adds natural sweetness. Just remember, because yogurt contains dairy, introduce it slowly to make sure your Chihuahua tolerates it well. Some dogs absolutely love it. Others don't digest dairy quite as easily. Either way, watching a Chihuahua carefully carry one of these frozen bites across the room before eating it is honestly adorable. But the next recipe may become your dog's favorite training reward. Peanut butter pumpkin mini cookies. These smell so good, you'll almost want one yourself. You'll need pumpkin puree, natural peanut butter that's completely free of xylitol, 1 egg, oat flour. Mix everything until it forms a soft dough. Roll tiny balls. Remember, Chihuahuas don't need giant cookies. Flatten them gently, bake until they're lightly golden. The result? Crunchy little treats that are perfect for rewarding good behavior. Whether you're teaching sit, stay, or working on recall, these tiny cookies make training much more exciting. But here's something most owners don't think about. Sometimes it's not what you feed your Chihuahua, it's how you serve it. And that's where the next recipe becomes much more than food. Quick question. Which recipe do you think your Chihuahua would choose first? The chicken bowl, the frozen yogurt bites, or the pumpkin cookies? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're enjoying videos that help your Chihuahua live a healthier, happier life, don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you'd like exclusive Chihuahua videos, behind-the-scenes content, and members-only tips, consider becoming a channel member. We'd love to have you join our Chihuahua community. Now, let's look at one recipe that doubles as enrichment. The Sniffing Mat Scramble. Dogs don't just enjoy eating, they enjoy searching, especially Chihuahuas, whose curious little brains love solving simple puzzles. For this recipe, you'll need scrambled eggs cooked without butter or seasoning, small pieces of cooked turkey, tiny bits of cucumber, a few cooked peas. Mix everything together. Instead of placing it in a bowl, scatter small portions inside a snuffle mat or food puzzle. Now your Chihuahua has to sniff, search, and work for every bite. Meals suddenly last much longer. Your dog stays mentally stimulated, and many owners notice their Chihuahua seems calmer afterward because sniffing is naturally enriching. Sometimes making food more interesting matters just as much as changing the ingredients themselves. But there's one recipe left, and it may surprise you because it only uses 2 ingredients. Sweet potato chews. Walk into almost any pet store and you'll find expensive chew treats, but you can often make something very similar yourself. Take 1 sweet potato, slice it into thin strips, Bake them slowly at a low temperature until they're chewy. No preservatives, no artificial colors, no mystery ingredients, just sweet potato. These natural chews are softer than many commercial chews, making them a nice option for many Chihuahuas. They're also rich in vitamins and fiber. Just remember, they're still treats, so serve them in moderation. Simple often wins.
Why homemade treats can be better, but only if you avoid these mistakes. Here's where many owners accidentally get into trouble. Making homemade food isn't automatically healthier. The ingredients matter. Portion sizes matter, and certain foods should never be included. Never use onions. Never use garlic. Avoid grapes and raisins. Never add chocolate. Skip macadamia nuts. Avoid anything containing xylitol, an artificial sweetener that's extremely dangerous for dogs. Because Chihuahuas weigh so little, even a small amount of a harmful ingredient can have a much bigger effect than it would on a large dog. Another common mistake? Giving treats that are simply too large. Remember, your Chihuahua's stomach is tiny. Treats should usually make up no more than about 10% of your dog's daily calories. Think of homemade recipes as a way to add variety, enrichment, and a little excitement, not as a replacement for a balanced diet, unless it's been formulated specifically for your dog. The happiest Chihuahuas usually don't need gourmet meals. They need safe ingredients, appropriate portions, and owners who pay attention to what works best for them.
Today, we covered 5 homemade recipes your Chihuahua is likely to love. A comforting chicken power bowl, refreshing frozen yogurt bites, crunchy pumpkin cookies, an enriching sniffing scramble, and simple sweet potato chews. Each one is easy to prepare, uses everyday ingredients, and gives your Chihuahua something a little more exciting than the same meal every single day. Sometimes, the smallest changes create the biggest tail wags.
If you try one of these recipes, tell me in the comments which one became your Chihuahua's favorite. And if you want even more exclusive Chihuahua tips, behind-the-scenes videos, and members-only content, consider joining the channel as a member. Thanks so much for watching. Give your tiny best friend an extra cuddle from me, and I'll see you in the next Chihuahua video.